Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're not on Project C1 today, we're on a Mini 1. Long story short, there's been some vandalism, so we've got to do some paint correction. Yeah, and this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about. Basically what's happened is they've taken a nice, lovely black paintwork like that and they've scuffed it up with a, essentially, a dish scouring pad. So, yeah, if I was the owner of this car, I'd be having some serious words with the people that did that. But it's happened on every panel. Some of it is not quite so obvious to see. You have to get really close. But the other side that is really obvious is the bonnet. I mean, you can see all the scratches there, and that carries on all the way across the front, down the front, everything. So, yeah, what we're going to do, I'm going to give it a quick wash and a degrease off camera, and then we're going to clay bar it, and then we'll get on with polishing it out. Okay, so the car has been washed, clay barred and washed again, and honestly the paintwork's not looking too bad, apart from the bits that have been damaged, of course. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get an airline, I'm going to blow it all into like the crevices and stuff and dry it all out, and then, so basically just that corner and the bonnet are the major issues. So if we get close, you can see there's scratch marks all over the place where the vandal has done their work. Like, that's pretty deep, but it's not that bad. That's just clear coat stuff. So I mean, as you can see with the reflection of the sky and the paintwork, the rest of the paintwork is actually pretty good. It's not picking it up on camera all that well, but it's let's just say scratched to shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compound it first of all. Now these aren't the products that I'd usually use, although G3 are pretty good. So we're going to compound it with a nice firm orange pad. I'm going to polish it with a resin polish, just to try and fill in the cracks that are left in the paint basically, and that should do the job, I think. Okay, so after just one quick pass, it is looking better. It's not there yet. I have a feeling that might need a wet sand up to about 1500, 2000 and then polish, but we can rescue that. So let's carry on. Okay, so what I've decided to do is use a DA sander with an interface pad so it's nice and squishy, and I'm going to wet sand it. Now I'm going to go with 1200, then 1500, then 2000, and then once I've done that, that should get us to a point where we can compound and polish, and that should look a little bit better than it does, because those scratches are a little bit deeper than compound alone can deal with. So it's going to look worse before it gets better, but it will get better. So that's the wet flatting done. That is 1200, 1500 and 2000, and as you can see, those scratches are gone, well and truly gone. I'm not quite gone up to the top of the chrome trim, and that's on purpose because I don't really want to get involved with that chrome trim, because once they come off they don't go back on. So we've gone a little bit further out on either side and all the way down to the bottom. So I think once we've got a little bit of compound and polish on that, that will look very nice. Oh, that's much better. Look at that. You can actually start to see my reflection in it now. Bearing in mind this is just the compound phase, so it's not amazing. However, it's far better than it was. I mean, you can't actually see the scratch. It's lovely and smooth, although a little bit wet. Going across to this side where I went out so we could feather it in. Still looking alright. I mean, there's a little bit of orange peel there that I've detected from the factory, but okay, fair enough, whatever, we can fix that. If we go all the way down to the bottom, that's looking lovely. So what we'll do now is we'll get a bit of polish on that, and that should shine up like the rest of the car. Well, would you look at that? That, even in the rain, is looking amazing. That, you'd never know had been scratched. The scratches have disappeared completely. I would normally get under here, but this is a 20-year-old car. We're just polishing a turd, basically. Because it is a BMW Mini. I'm not a fan, but whatever, it's not my car. That looks fantastic. I like that a lot. Happy days. So next up then is the bonnet. We've got all the scratches on the bonnet like I showed you earlier. The problem with this is that we've just washed it, it's still a little bit wet, but we're not entirely certain how deep the scratches are. So we're going to try compounding it and see if that does anything. If not, we may have to wet sand that as well. But let's get on with it. Nope, that didn't work. It's taken some of them out, but as you can see, there's still quite a lot of deep scratches there that have really gotten in there. So, oh well, looks like we're wet sanding that one. I did also notice a couple of stone chips as well and a few blemishes in the paint. So what we might do is get a touch-up pen, fill that full of paint like that cure, and then while we're flattening it down, that should make that disappear. But yeah, let's go. I'm just going to nip to the shop, grab some consumables, and then by the power of editing, I'll be right with you. So that's the bonnet sanded down to 3000 grit. I actually used I'll show you, a 3M Trizarch pad. These are expensive but well worth the money, because as you can see, that is lovely and flat. That is ready for a compound, and that should resolve the problems on the bonnet. I have gone a little bit further down than I would normally have done, but that's so that we can compound into the good paintwork. Same with the top, same with the bottom, and same with the other side as well. So it's gone down just a little bit further than I normally would do, but that's all right. So we'll give this another quick clean and a degrease, and then we'll get on with the compound. So that's been wet flatted and compounded, and it's already looking wonderful. Look at that, that's a lovely shine. You can see that there is very little by way of scratches left, if anything at all. I can't pick it up on camera, but there are some really deep ones there, and to be honest, this panel is going to need repainting at some point, because there's a little crease just here, there's a little indent just here, there's a couple of paint chips around, which we didn't get around to doing because, you know, time. But that is looking really good. I am going to have to hand compound around the washer jets and things like that. Fair enough, not a problem, I can do that. And probably a couple of bits up here as well. But we'll do that off camera, and then we'll get onto the polishing stage, which I won't bore you with. Any other detail, I may have just left that there, but the kid that owns this car loves this car, and to be honest, I know what he's talking about. I get it. So yeah, I'm going to polish this off camera, and I'm going to apply some sealant of some description. I haven't decided what yet, and then I'll show you when we're done. So that's it, all flatted back, polished, compounded, polished, all that sort of stuff. You can actually see the crease a little bit easier now that I've polished it, and the little depression piece here, and like the odd stone chip and things like that. But for a 20-year-old car with 107,000 miles, that's looking really good. And the paintwork is like glass, it's lovely, properly decontaminated and everything. And if we go around to the back, this is what we did earlier on in the video. That's still looking amazing, so happy with that. So I think we'll call that a day, I think. well, that was good. The results on that were much better than I expected them to be honest, so gleaming, happy with that. It was a simple case of wash, decontaminate, sand down with 12, 15, 2000, and on the case of the bonnet, 3000 grit, wet and dry, wet sanded, decontaminated and degreased again, and then compounded and polished, and that looked really good. With regards to protecting the paint that we've just exfoliated, essentially, it's going to be done by good old wax. I like wax, it works. We just have to keep reapplying it, that's all. But yeah, you know what to do then. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual YouTubey good stuff. Remember to visit me on Instagram, just down here at dabdiy. Remember, you can follow all my sponsors. So we've got TSA Performance, who does everything for your 1KRs, so just here. And we've got Form 7 Performance. They'll do anything for anything really, including minis. There's a lot of mini things there, so you can use the discount code on screen for that as well. Make sure you use that at checkout for a discount on whatever it is that you need for whatever it is that you've got. And then you can also go and visit X8R Performance as well. They do seal kits for that and a multitude of other bits and pieces for the cars as well. So remember to go and share those on Facebook, and go and see them on Instagram, go see the websites, use the discount codes on screen, all that your usual sort of YouTubey good stuff. But in the meantime, I will ask you to, once I get rid of the wasp of course, I'll ask you to ring the bell, make sure you get notified next time I drop a video. I'll see you then.